A lot of people don't know how to shuck oysters. You gotta be careful. Do not stab this through your hand. I'm gonna show you how to protect yourself. I want you to protect yourself. I want you to protect yourself. Today on It's Supper Time, we are gonna be making mussels in a fresh roasted tomato sauce. Woo! I love that. Clams in a pancetta white wine sauce. That is so easy. These are all easy. We're gonna be making the Grand Slam of all oysters. We're gonna be doing the Oyster Rockefeller. It's a medium dog meal. Why? Because this is dangerous. Shucking oysters is very dangerous. That alone makes this a medium dog.
It's definitely not easy. Even just finding good shellfish is probably not even easy. You know, there's a little bit of cookery going on.
When I was a young little child, my grandfather would take us down to the ocean. The tide would be out. We'd be looking for oysters.
Going clam digging, going mussel digging. You go out and you get a shovel and you dig and you get supper.
One time we took an oyster out of the ocean and we shucked it, my grandfather. And we opened it up and inside was a pearl. It was the greatest day of my life. And he gave it to me and I still have it to this day.
Where'd I keep the pearl? Ah, it's at home in my pearl drawer. My treasures, where I keep all my treasures.
We have to get these guys ready. These guys may look really clean and ready, but they're not. We are gonna take the clams, we're gonna add them to a bowl. I'm gonna fill this up with water, just cold tap water, because I wanna make sure that there's no sand in there. I'm just gonna take some cornmeal, and I'm gonna just let that be. And as this sinks down and gets in there, it's gonna irritate the clams, and the clams are gonna spit sand out. Whatever sand is left in those clams, they're gonna spit out because they're like, I don't want this cornmeal in me. And then they're like, get out of me. Unfortunately, this trick doesn't work for mussels or oysters. Mussels are pretty much only grown in mussel socks, which hang from the top of the water, and there's no sand. They're just in water. And oysters are shut, closed. You can actually put this in the fridge, so you make sure that you keep it cold, because the thing too, you wanna make sure that all this shellfish is cold.
If you just leave them out at room temperature, they will die slowly and they will go rotten very quickly and you will get sick.
These oysters, I'm not gonna do anything with. These are really clean. If you buy some oysters, you can take like a green scrubby, just scrub them up, rinse them under water, it's all good. I wanna keep these nice and cold, so I'm just gonna put these oysters in this pot. Just take this wet towel so that they don't get dry. Let's begin. I'm gonna make some mussels.
Why do I love mussels and tomato sauce? Because it reminds me of my grandfather. He really had an amazing garden in his yard, and we would just make up a quick tomato sauce. Grab a bunch of vegetables from the garden, fry it up, throw it in some tomato sauce, throw a bunch of mussels in there, and I just think it's an amazing thing.
I'm gonna steam these mussels because when... I don't even need that. So I'm gonna fill up some water. I do need that. We're already gonna have the clams. So if I'm cooking this for my friends, I'm gonna think ahead and steam them, and then I'm gonna make the sauce, and then I'm gonna put all of the mussels out of the shell into the sauce, so then you can just eat it, and there's no work. Boom, steam. We're just gonna take our mussels, drop them in. This is only gonna take like 30 seconds. Oh, yeah. The second that the mussel opens, it's cooked. It can't cook anymore. Okay, boom. This puppy's done. I love this. This really smells incredible. Look at this, they're all open. And then just get them in the ice bath.
I'm using an ice bath because I want to stop the cooking. Mussels will continue to cook. They're really small mussels. The more that they cook, the more shriveled up they are. Put them into an ice bath, stop the cooking, and then throw them in right at the end when you're making your sauce.
We are gonna make a tomato sauce. Let's get some shallots going. When my grandfather, he would make a big tomato sauce, and it was kind of just like a melange of all the things that were great about his garden. We just start off with a little bit of olive oil. We're gonna add our shallots. Woo! You wanna be cooking on like a medium heat. Slice up some garlic. Just like 2-3 cloves will be great. You only need half a fennel. Cut it into nice little chunks. This is a poblano pepper. Cut that into squares, nice and easy. Look at this pepper. I'm just gonna chunk this. Yellow zucchini, why not?
Summer succotash, tomato sauce, whatever the fuck you want to call it. It's a quick, easy, one-pan kind of sauce with a lot of different things in it.
Then I'm gonna add some celery. We had a garden on the rooftop of a restaurant I worked at called Parts and Labor. We used to sell this amazing salad with all these rooftop ingredients. And one day, we heard some woman scream. And I was like, what's going on? And they're like, I don't know, some woman just ran out of the restaurant. And I went outside, and I was like, what's going on? And she was like, there's like a monster in my salad. And I went back inside. There was a praying mantis on her plate. We clean all of the vegetables, we clean all the lettuces, and somehow some fucking cook didn't see this praying mantis, and this woman, I had to talk her down off a tree pretty much, to come back in the restaurant. We're gonna take our tomatoes, put them in here. I had these beautiful vine-ripe tomatoes. I left them on the stem. It looks beautiful. It's just an aesthetic thing. You can cut them off the fucking stems. We're gonna add some pepper. We're gonna add a little bit of salt, a little bit of wine. We're gonna add a little bit of chicken stock. So now, this is gonna cook away. This tomato sauce is a quick tomato sauce. You just stir fry them up, right? In some olive oil. Throw in that tomato sauce, cook it for about 10, 15 minutes, done. So all you do is you take your mussel, that's it. Us just taking the time to pluck and shuck all of our mussels are just gonna make our friends like us that much more. We're gonna cut up some parsley. Just slice your chives nice and thin, some lemon zest and some lemon juice. And we're gonna add our mussels. Give this a stir. Because you've already cooked the mussels, you already took them out of the shells, you just throw them in at the last second. As soon as those are warm, you're good to go. Oh, mama. Look at this. The tomatoes have cooked down, the vegetables are nice and tender. I like to just leave little pockets of chives. Let's put some more parsley on there. That is beautiful. My grandfather would be proud. It's time to make clams, little pancetta, and white wine sauce.
It's just a very easy, fast way to do something. You can use shitty box wine, whatever the fuck you want to use. It goes a long way and it's really flavorful.
So we've rinsed our clams. We have our pancetta, about a 1/4 pound of pancetta. So make sure you just take that casing off of your pancetta. I'm just gonna cut this, just dice this up.
I like using pancetta just because it's a really salty, fatty, kind of a chewy bacon. And I think the chewiness of the pancetta kind of resembles the chewiness of a clam, how a clam kind of has a little bit of bounce in it.
Just add 4 tablespoons of olive oil, 4 cloves of garlic, 1 shallot. We're gonna add 2 stalks of celery. I'm gonna cut it kind of on the bias, so we get kind of like big pieces of celery. We're gonna brown up this pancetta real nice. The clams are gonna take a few minutes, like 3 to 4 minutes. So I'm gonna put them down. Look at that. Now, I'm gonna crank the heat back up. We're gonna add about 1/2 cup of white wine.
Clams are very flavorful, and as soon as they hit that white wine, they pour out all that liquor, and all of a sudden that white wine turns into like a clam liquor and sauce, and it's an amazing combination.
We're just gonna take some time. Oh, that's gonna add a lot of flavor. So just cover with the lid, and this is gonna take about 4 to 6 minutes. They open when they open, they're not like mussels. We're gonna also add parsley. So you can see the clams are starting to open up. You can move them around a little bit. For this dish, I'm using about 3 pounds of clams. I always account for about 1 pound of clams per person. All these clams are open, we're good. I'm just gonna add a little bit of lemon zest, fresh cracked pepper. Look at this. Oh my God. And I'm just gonna take beautiful celery leaf, a little olive oil, perfect. Clams, bacon, white wine sauce. You can't beat that. Shellfish for life. I'm about to go into Rodney's very classic, old school oyster house. Rodney's son, Eamon's meeting me inside. He's an 8-time champion of oyster shucking. So I'm gonna hang out with champion and talk about oysters. Come inside. So you are an 8-time world champion oyster shucker.
Canadian champion.
Canadian champion.
Yeah, Canadian champion. I've done some competitions around the world.
Where'd you place in the world?
Third.
Third.
Which is dope, in my opinion.
It's pretty dope. It's pretty dope. Few people in the world. How do you shuck an oyster?
Top, bottom. Bottom has a nice deep cup.
Yeah.
I like to shuck through the hinge.
Right.
You're sinking 1/4 inch of your knife into that hinge, right?
Right.
Because the more deeper you go in, you're gonna poke it and...
You don't want to fuck up the meat.
So you go in, and you kind of like sink your knife in. Once it's in a little bit,
Yeah.
that's like pretty much it. So you go over, push up,
Push up.
and just cut it like that. So then you got the mussels just been disconnected nicely.
Yeah.
The oyster's been untouched.
Yeah.
There's no shell or grit in it. So pop it, now push up, push up. There you go. Now look at that meat and then follow it across with this angle, right? Yeah, there you
that
go.
angle.
Yeah. Right?
No.
Yeah, but
Little better.
So much better, dude.
There's different sizes, shapes, colors, and what determines that with oysters?
Basically, it's surroundings. You know, if it's like a high algae area, you'll get a green oyster.
Right.
This oyster here is a different animal than these two. That's a gigas, right? These two are virginicas. This oyster is tumbled like hard tumbling. So what happens is like this oyster here at a Prince Edward Island,
Yeah.
that'll take like probably, it's pretty heavy, it's pretty dense. You're looking at like 5 years to get this to where it is, right? This oyster, almost not really, but almost the same size, but definitely deep.
Yeah.
You know? This oyster comes to market in probably 2 years, but even the reason why it takes so long is because it's tumbled so hard.
Right.
It's breaking off the lip constantly. So like it's manicured like a nice nail, but it's got that big deep cup. So when
Right.
you shuck it open, it's kind of got that eye, that visual, like, oh, that's not that big. And then when you plop it in your mouth, you're
a
like,
mouthful.
wow, that's huge, yeah.
We're gonna have a shuck off. An old-fashioned shuck off. Okay, let's shuck oysters. We're doing a competition. We got 5 oysters. We have beautiful, cushy oysters here.
3, 2, 1, shuck. No pressure.
No pressure.
No pressure. That one done.
Ah, fuck.
No way. No, don't do that to me, dude. Dude, I'm done.
Okay, he's done.
But you keep going, man,
Look.
because you can crush me in penalties.
Oh,
Yours are looking perfect, by the way. You got it, you got it. Technique, push up. Dude,
done.
nailed it.
And just one little jab.
That's pretty good.
Okay.
All right, so mine are okay. Let's go through yours.
Okay,
Yours
okay,
got
let's
some
see.
issues, yeah.
Judge me, judge me.
Overall, like, you got this one. There's your perfect oyster.
That's my perfect
No,
oyster?
no shell, no grit. Is it disconnected?
Oh,
Perfect.
One perfect.
There it is. Well, at least
One.
so far. This one here, it's got some issues. It's got some cut meat. It's not disconnected for the bottom.
That
It's
one's
stabbed
dog
in
shit.
there.
That's
Fuck.
a dog shit one.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see who can eat these the fastest now.
You're winning.
Go!
You're winning. Oh my God, you savage. Dude, these are so salty.
Ah, done.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Thank you.
It's time to make Oysters Rockefeller.
Oyster Rockefeller is breadcrumb, some herbs, spinach, in an oyster, eat it, baked. But there's more to it than that, isn't there?
I have about 30 oysters here. Beautiful East Coast maritime oysters here. We got the Kescompec, we got the Colville Bay, Acadian Gold, and I'm gonna steam these for about 5 minutes in steaming water. We wanna make sure that we're keeping that water nice and salty. Make them feel like they're at home in the ocean. The main thing when you're buying oysters is you wanna have a respected fishmonger fish shop. Maybe they have an eye patch and a wooden leg. That's always a good look. So make sure they have that. If they don't have an eye patch and a wooden leg and maybe a hook for a hand, maybe go elsewhere. But you should be able to buy small cases that are kept properly in the right temperatures, and then you can buy those oysters, bring them home. But I would say you don't want to keep oysters in your fridge longer than 2 to 3 days, okay? While the oysters are steaming, we're gonna get our filling ready for the Oysters Rockefeller. This is about a 1/4 pound of bacon, and we're gonna cut this up into large lardons. We're gonna add 2 tablespoons of olive oil to help get that going. Slice up 2 cloves of garlic, 2 shallots, 1 tablespoon of butter. Boom. And we don't want to cook this till it's crispy. We just have to render it a little bit for about 5 to 8 minutes.
Oysters Rockefeller is one of those things where everyone thinks it's something for rich people, but it isn't. It's just chopped up fucking oyster. Or most of the time, they just put breadcrumbs and spinach on top. I want to show the people out there how to make Oysters Rockefeller better than the fucking rich people.
I'm gonna cut up some green onions, about 4 green onions, a big bunch of parsley. We're gonna add a lot of baby spinach. And now, we're gonna deglaze with a little anise, about a 1/4 cup. When you see that flame, that's the alcohol burning, and what you're left with is just the essence of that liquor, which is pure flavor. That anise brings a really nice sharpness. The liquor, it really adds to that minerality and the salty and creaminess of the oyster. This is done. This is ready to go into the pulser. Oh, yeah. I'm gonna add some fresh spinach as well to have a little bit of texture. I'm gonna add 7 tablespoons of breadcrumbs, the zest of 1 lemon, 5 turns of the old peppermill, about 3 more tablespoons of olive oil. We're gonna add our Parmesan cheese.
Parmesan cheese is the only cheese. You don't need to be putting any other, don't put cheddar cheese, you don't put goat cheese. It needs spinach, it needs oysters, it needs Parmesan cheese, it needs breadcrumbs. Anything else besides that ain't Oysters Rockefeller.
Look at this. It almost looks like a pesto. And now what we're gonna do is just cool this down because we have to take care of our oysters now. Take your oysters, pour them out into your colander. Now just run those over cold water. We're gonna cool these down. So when you're cooking them, you wanna make sure that they're just open a little bit. That's all they open. You can just reef them open. And there you go, you're left with a little oyster like that. They shrink up a little bit. This is a baking tray with just coarse salt on top so we can put the shells on. They don't move, they don't teeter over. No fuss, no muss. Just use a knife, cut out the oyster. You can get rid of the top. You just want the deep part because we're gonna fill those back up. I'm just gonna cut these up. So here we go. We're gonna take an oyster and you just fill up the bottom. Nice. Look at that. Plenty of oyster. Now take our filling and we're just gonna put it on top. 10 perfect Oysters Rockefeller. Middle rack! We're gonna cook these at 450 for about 15 minutes. And they're gonna be nice and golden brown. Shellfish! Okay. Can you juggle? Can you juggle? Can you juggle? Ah! Salt. This is a curveball that you've been waiting for. I'm gonna teach you guys at home how to make perfect French fries.
There's nothing like eating a bunch of steamed clams on the side of a beach next to a French fry truck. And those are just memories from me.
You got a Yukon Gold potato. You don't even have to peel them. Look at this. Do you know that this is how you make French fries? French fries come from potatoes. Pomme de terre, apple of the earth. Let me show you something. You see what this pot is? Boiling water. You see what this pot is? Canola oil. And the thing that I love to do with my French fries
I like to par cook them. You take 2 potatoes. This is more than enough French fries. I'm gonna drop the potatoes into this boiling water. Make sure you season it. Salty. Do you know what par cooking means, guys? To cook something halfway. You want to par cook French fries, because if you were to take raw potato and put it into a Dutch oven with hot oil, they would burn on the outside before they were cooked on the inside. These are gonna cook for about 5 minutes. That's all it's gonna take. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do that 500 times, and that's 5 minutes. Did you know that? I don't know if that's true or not. Woo! These are par cooked. Look at that. They have to be cold. So I'm gonna put these in the freezer. That dry cooling method is gonna kind of crack and like leave the potatoes a little bit more crispy. You don't wanna freeze it, you just wanna cool it. About 20 minutes. Look at these fucking things. Look at these beauties. The Oyster Rockefeller. This is for everybody out there in the world. We've taken the high-class society, the most sought-after oyster dish. We've made it ours. The French fries have been cooling. See, these take no time to cool down in the freezer. What you want to do is make sure that the oil is at 350 degrees. And as you can see, this is getting there. So we're just gonna take our French fries. Oh, mama. 5 minutes in the deep fryer. Cooking is about, it's the dance of life. My mic has fallen again. I am one sweaty motherfucker. Dancing is very important. As you can see, I'm a very good dancer. And when you dance, it's the same as cooking. It's rhythmic. These are done. Crunchy. Oh, salt. Oh, look at all that time. Look at this. Nothing beats fresh French fries, except Oysters Rockefeller, clams, white wine, bacon, pancetta, mussels taken out of the shell, tomato sauce, sound mic. It's supper time. I'm Matty Matheson. That's how you make goddamn shellfish. Oysters, aphrodisiac, not aphrodisiac? I don't know. But the one thing I do know, you eat 30 oysters, I don't think you're gonna be horny. I think you're gonna have a little oyster butt.